this video, I'm just going to kind of go over some of the basics in the menu in of itself, in your settings, and then I'm going to go over your inventory stash, and then the basics of trade-in. I'm not going to really touch on hideout just yet. I'm just going to keep this a little bit on the short side. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the settings. Me personally, I always keep the interface elements on. It allows me to keep the little guy in the upper left hand corner, shows all your limbs, shows where you're damaged, and it doesn't go away. The nice thing about that is it allows me to continuously track any damage to any limbs that I have. So even if I only get shot once I get done with the fight, I can glance up, look, okay, I need to go ahead and fix. Even if it's only 10 hit points, it can matter down the road, especially like if you get something like a bleed, because that's so many hit points over X amount of time. The more hit points you have, the longer it takes you to die. I keep my head bobbing turned down, and I prefer the field of vision of about 70. Now I'm running a 21.9 aspect ratio, and it works really well. On the graphics side, my only dead set recommendation for all of this, I mean, you're going to want to set it up for you how it runs best on your computer. I would turn Z-Blur, Chrome Aberrations, Noise, and Grass Shadows off. It will eat up resources. I'm running a 1070, and I'm thankful I turned it off. My recommendation on volume is to turn your interface volume down. That'll take out the sounds of yourself reloading mags, so you won't hear yourself reloading mags in game, and it'll tone down some of the noise from searching inventories and whatnot. That'll help you because you can be in a bush packing a mag after a fight, and you'll be able to hear what's going on around you. Audio cues are extremely important in this game. But as far as that goes, interface volume, definitely keep it either really low if you do want it on there, or off. Now I would definitely go through and look at your controls and set them up in a way that makes sense for you, because I have mine set up now that I have certain things like to switch tactical device mode, double click T. I know I have check fire mode to double click B. There's certain things I've set up a certain way, so that way I don't have to use as many keys or combination of keys. If I can take my left control and left alt out of the picture, I will, and I did for a lot of these. Going forward into your character, there is a couple of things that will help you out. If you hold left alt and you click on a bag or something like that, you will automatically move it into a slot on your character where it can be used. Left control will just quickly take it back over to the top of your inventory. Another thing to keep in mind is that you can hold left control to throw something into your bag, and this counts in raid as well. So if you're looting someone and they have a smaller bag than you are, they have a lot of items in their bag, instead of you having to pick through and pick each individual item, well, you can just dump the whole bag back and forth. This also works on weapons and helmets right now, and you can left alt out of your own inventory to put a helmet or something else on. The only thing right now that isn't working, even weapons work, is contacts. Right now there's an error where contacts aren't working. But you can still throw them over in your inventory and then drag them on real quick. I highly recommend it. Even if it's just the GSSHs, always wear some type of earpiece in the game. It will help you immensely identify not only where players are, but other scavs, where gunshots are coming from. It will just generally help your gameplay to wear some type of earpiece. On that, a tip for that, always try to use the same earpiece. Find one you like that has the sound profile that you like, because what that'll do is that will let you continuously build up an ear for, okay, that sounds like a hunter, or that sounds like an SVD. And while yes, they do sound very different, the further away you get from them, the bit more construed it can get. So if you're always wearing the same type of head earpiece, it will help you because you'll get used to it. You'll get accustomed to those sounds. Another thing, when you first start, go into all your traders, go to all their tasks, and accept all of them. Always have all the tasks that you can get from all the traders going at the same time, because especially at the lower levels, a lot of them are just kill X scabs at X map, and just simply running through and doing these tasks will get you a lot more experience. But more importantly, at lower levels, let me go to Peacekeeper to show this, even though he doesn't have any tasks for you right off the bat. This is your loyalty level with them, and this is how much money you have both spent and received from them by selling them stuff. Peacekeeper is going to be the first vendor that you're going to be able to level up. Right off the bat, you're going to want to be selling stuff to him and buying stuff from him. Now, he does have the MP5 K-N. Really good starter weapon. It does use pistol ammo. You will need to go to mechanic to buy the ammo, but you can get one of these, and then you can get a 20 round mag. And the nice thing about the 20 round mag is it's a 1x1. You can put it in your pocket. You don't even need a vest, so you can go into a round with a pack of vests, a helmet, and earpiece, and you can have 2 or 3 of these in your pockets. And then you can have the stacks of ammo in your container, in your bag, or wherever you want them, so that way as you're running through mags, you can switch them out. The other reason I recommend this over just a bare bones pistol is you can switch it to full auto or burst fire mode, which if you get into a fight indoors or in really tight confines, being able to mag dump that 20 round mag can really help you out a lot. Some other things to look at. Give me 1 second. Some other things that you're really going to want to look at is trades. These are just wood handled knives, but these are often sold out right now. It's not always telling you. You may have all the knives and it may be sold out and not telling you. Also, buying money from him for rubles does count towards money spent. And that is definitely worthwhile to do because it will allow you to expedite the process of leveling him up. Not something you can do with a lot of the other vendors. Another thing, you can hold an item and scroll up and down with your mouse wheel. Fence doesn't have quest for you up until the very end. He'll start unlocking some tasks for him, but generally you can sell just about anything to Fence, to include gear that is almost completely ruined. These two numbers, the one on the left is how much basically health is left in this vest. 36 is what it will max out at. This vest does not stock max out at 36. It has been repaired several times, and essentially somebody just ran out or they got it back on insurance, and instead of spending the 10 grand to fix it again, they made 6 grand selling it to Fence. A lot of the armor you see in Fence is that way. This did not start out at 18 of 18, but Fence is still going to charge you almost 30 grand for it. His prices are high, he buys high, he sells low. It's just the way it works. He's a Fence. Another thing, for cases. New players, if you have a friend that goes in and buys you a case from one of the vendors, he won't be able to, well, he can give it to you in a raid. The flip side of that is, though, you won't be able to put it in your container until after that raid. So if a friend has a case for you, your best bet is to wait until you get to extraction and then have him give it to you. At level 5, you'll get access to what's called the flea market. A lot of your building guns, customizing guns will get so much easier once you get to that point, because you can simply right click and linked search, and this will pull up only things that can be equipped to that gun. On the flip side, when you're going to sell guns, if you come out of raid and you flip a gun over, once you start leveling up your vendors, you're going to want to break down guns and sell certain pieces to Skier. He'll pay more money, 8048. Number 2 on the list is Mechanic. Now that pistol grip that's sold for 8,048 rubles to Skier only sells for 6,846 rubles to Mechanic, and it goes down from there. But keep in mind, if you're trying to level a specific vendor, make sure to sell to them whatever you can, and insure through them, and fix vest through them. I don't know if they've taken that out as counting towards the total of the money you've spent with that vendor, but it is there. Another thing of note, when you're working on your ergonomics and your recoil of your guns, it's based off the base level of the gun as a receiver only. Once you start adding parts to it, that's when you'll start seeing the bonuses stack. So I've got a decked out MPX here, and if you look, the hardline numbers still take it to the baseline of what it was then. The mag gave me a negative. So that is something else that you're going to want to remember when you're looking at how all these numbers work out. The numbers may not change much because you went from something that has +4 recoil to something that, or -4 recoil to something that has, say, -5 recoil. You're not seeing a terribly huge difference because it's based off of just the receiver. So you only gaining a 1% difference. That's all you're seeing. Other things for in your inventory, whenever you can fold up a stock, you're going to want to. Even though it shows the stock's folded, it still fits. Learn something new every day. But not everything will fit. Like that gun with the stock unfolded won't work. Now, just like you can right click and you can go up to fold and unfold, or you can click on it with your middle mouse button and it will have the same effect. This also counts in RAID for like magazines and stuff like that. You can just click on them with the middle mouse button to examine them. And this is really good when you first start the game. You'll have to go through and examine everything. So you'll be just scrolling over it and clicking it with your middle mouse. That way you don't have to go in and right click and then, inspect every single item. Let me see if I can still find like a key or something on the market. Show what I'm talking about. Apparently not. But that will help you speed up a lot of your issues that you're having in menu. Again, that Alt key just flips it over. Now it puts it in the top spot, so like I flipped it from there to here and it went all the way up here. Rotating through things quickly in and out of your inventory. For me, what I do is I keep the top 10 to 12 squares, horizontal lines, empty. So that way when I get out of scav raid or any other type of raid, I can just simply dump out of it, throw all my stuff off, and keep right on going. I put my armor, my more valuable stuff at the bottom, then I'll do guns, weapon attachments and magazines, medical gear, food, and an ammo right at the top to be able to grab it. If you have any further questions, please hit me up. And as always, be safe, escape with style.